To set up a 4-player game of Honey Hop, take your 6 field frame pieces and connect them together to build a hexagon. Remove 1 grass-only tile, as this is only needed for a 3-player game. Take the 4 hive tiles, start in a corner, move along an edge, go across, follow the edge, and put down the last hive tile. Shuffle the 15 field tiles and fill in the field. Place the forager bees on the hive tile with the corresponding color. Provide each player with a hive board, which serves as a quick reference and a place to store honey points. Give the leap cards a shuffle and deal 2 cards face down to each player. Take the remaining leaf cards and place them to the side. At the beginning of the game, shuffle the month tokens and place them face down on the calendar board. At the beginning of each month, reveal what the next month will be. In this case, it would be Blue Flowers Bloom. Let's say, for example, that we have just finished month 5. We move the month marker and see that red flowers bloom. For each face-up tile with a red flower, take a piece of nectar from the supply and add it to that field tile. We then reveal the next month, which is that blue flowers wither. Let's say we have finished the 6th month. We move our month marker forward for blue flowers wither. On each tile with blue flowers, remove 1 blue nectar if available and return it to the supply. Nectar that is being carried by a bee is unaffected. Let's say we proceed into month 8. Month 4 and 8 are special and called Sprout. With Sprout, you refresh the board by picking up all face-up tiles that are empty. We ignore tiles that have nectar, a bee, the rain marker, or a leaf card. We shuffle these tiles and place them face down. This allows us to refresh the board. We also deal each player 2 leaf cards face down for the supply. And as always, we reveal that the following month will be, in this case, yellow flowers will bloom. Here we are set up for a 4-player game. We have our calendar board with the month marker and month tokens, 20 pieces of each color of nectar, red, blue, and yellow, 40 honey point pieces, our leaf card supply, and rain marker. Each player has a hive tile with 2 forager bees, a hive board, and 2 leaf cards. The first player is determined by whoever has consumed honey most recently. In this case, it's the yellow player. They are given the crown to signify that they are the starting player for the month. After the first month, the starting player is determined by whoever has a bee stuck in the rain. If no bee is stuck in a rain, the starting player remains the same. At the beginning of the month, we reveal the month token for the following month. In this case, red flowers will bloom. On your turn, you have 3 actions. The list of actions can be found on your hive board. You can move, collect nectar, collect a leaf card, or convert 3 pieces of nectar into honey points. Bees move perpendicular to the edge of the tile they are on. The yellow bee could go in this direction, or this direction. Moving to this tile would be 1 action. You can move in a straight line and still have that count as 1 action. Moving here would also count as 1 action. You cannot fly over other bees or obstacles like the rain marker. If yellow decides to land here, it must bump the gray bee, because field tiles can only hold 1 bee at a time. Let's say the gray bee wasn't there. The yellow bee could then fly all the way into the gray hive. This is because it is no longer blocked, and the hive tiles can support up to 2 bees. the yellow player would not be able to go into the black hive. This is because the black player has both of its forager bees in their hive, and you cannot be bumped out of your own hive. When you land on a face-down tile, flip it over. When we reveal a leaf tile, take a leaf card from the supply and place it face down on the tile. There are several types of leaf cards. All leaf cards are played as a free action, and you can play as many as you have in your hand on your turn. Sting cards are special and are played in response to an attack or another sting card. We'll discuss this more in the stealing section. After a leaf card has been played, it is discarded. We could pick up the card as an additional action. Instead, we will go here and flip over a flower tile. When we reveal a flower tile, we take a piece of nectar from the supply of the corresponding color and place it on that tile. The yellow player could pick up that nectar as an additional action. Instead, they will go here. Here we have a grass tile. It does not provide any resources. It does, however, have a cloud icon on it, so we will move the rain marker to that tile, and now the yellow bee is stuck. Now it's the black player's turn, and they choose to go to this tile. This is a special tile that has two colors of flowers. We take one piece of nectar of each corresponding color, in this case yellow and red, and place it on the tile. Because there is a cloud icon, we move the rain marker to this tile. Now the yellow bee is free, and the black bee is stuck in the rain. When you're on a tile with the rain marker, you cannot take any actions with that bee. So long as it's in the rain, that bee cannot move, pick up nectar, or a leaf card. The black player, however, can use its other forager bee to take actions instead. Bumping occurs when too many bees try to occupy the same tile. Let's say the black player wants to move its bee into this occupied tile, and must then bump the yellow bee into an adjacent tile. This is because field tiles can only hold one bee at a time. The black player must choose to bump the yellow bee into one of these adjacent tiles. It, however, cannot be bumped into the tile from which the bumping bee has come from. We also can chain bumps together. The black player goes here, and then chooses for this bee to bump here, then this bee to bump here, and now this bee is out of the ring. It can bump into the original bee, and now this bee can be bumped into any of these adjacent tiles. It, however, could not have been bumped into either of the yellow bees, and that is because bees can only be bumped once per move action. This entire chain of bumps only counted as one move action. Hive tiles, on the other hand, can hold up to two bees. Here in the gray hive, we have a gray bee and a white bee. The gray player can use their other bee to bump the white bee out. Now we can't bump bees off the board and must go to an adjacent tile. Whenever a bee lands on a face-down tile, we flip it over. Since we have blue and yellow flowers, we take a piece of nectar of those colors from the supply and put it onto the tile. We also have this cloud icon, so we move the rain marker to that tile. On white's turn, they can choose to bump their own bee. However, this white bee cannot move into the gray hive, and that is because bees cannot be bumped out of their own hive. When a bee returns to its hive, it must automatically drop off all the nectar it's carrying. This is mandatory, as nectar in hives can be stolen. To steal nectar, move your bee into an opponent's hive and tell them you would like to attempt to steal one specific piece of nectar. If the defending player has no response, the attack is successful and the stolen nectar is placed onto the attacking bee, the same way as if it were picked up from a flower tile. If instead, the defending player responds by playing a sting card and the attacker has no response, the attack fails. The attacking bee returns to their hive and the attacking player's turn ends immediately. However, the attacker can potentially respond to and cancel out a sting card with their own sting card. This can go back and forth between attacker and defender until the last player to play a sting card wins. There are a couple ways to protect your nectar without a sting card. The best way is to immediately convert your nectar into honey points, as honey points cannot be stolen. The other way to protect your nectar is to have both of your forager bees in your hive. Bees cannot be bumped out of their own hive, and therefore the nectar is pretty well protected. The winner of the game is whoever has the most honey points at the end of the 12th month. They will be the best prepared to survive the winter. In order to make honey, you must first collect nectar. Nectar appears when a flower tile is revealed. A forager bee can use an action to pick up a piece of nectar and can hold at most 2 pieces of nectar at a time. In this example, the white player picks up a blue piece of nectar for their first action, moves back to their hive for their second action, and automatically drops the nectar onto their hive, which is a free action. The white player still has one more action and chooses to convert 3 pieces of nectar into honey points. Honey made with a greater variety of nectar is worth more points, as shown on your hive board. If all 3 pieces of nectar are the same color, it's worth 1 point. 2 different colors are worth 2 points, and 3 different colors are worth 3 points. Here we have all 3 colors, yellow, red, and blue. We convert these pieces of nectar by returning them to the supply and gain 3 honey points, which we put onto our hive board. This concludes our tutorial. We hope you have a great time playing in Honey Hop.